Hey, what's up guys? Doing some more work to this 1994 Toyota pickup 3.0 V6. Figured I'd do a quick video on how to change the oil on it. First you want to pop your hood. Then with your hood pop, go ahead and pull off your oil cap here. Then you go ahead and crawl underneath the front here. This is going to be your oil pan here, and the drain plug is going to be just back there. So get yourself a drain pan here, and let's go ahead and pull the plug. So grab a 14mm, and you can see there's our drain plug just behind the differential here. So go ahead and remove your drain plug. And we'll go ahead and let this drain. Now I did warm up the engine before I started this because this calls for 10W30, so it's a little thicker. So you want to make sure you warm up the engine just a little bit, just so it flows out a little better. And so while that's draining, we can go ahead and just slide your pan forward just a little bit here. And then if you look up here, you can see there's our oil filter. So let's go ahead and unscrew that off. And you may need to use some pliers or a wrench, so let me grab one. So I'm just going to use this oil filter wrench here, slip over the top of it, just to help get it loose here. Once you get it somewhat loose, you can unscrew it by hand. Let that drip a little bit here. Go ahead and unscrew it the rest of the way. Okay guys, so the customer I'm doing this for already supplied me with the oil. He just gave me the supertech 10W30. And then he also wants me to add this oil stabilizer, which is pretty much Lucas by supertech. And then he gave me this Motorcraft filter. It says it fits for this Toyota, so we'll go ahead and throw this on. So I'm gonna go ahead and just pop this open, tip it upside down, open up your oil, and then just stick your finger in here. Put some fresh oil on this oil filter gasket here. And then we can go ahead and install it on the truck. So before you install your new filter, just make sure this is kind of clean around where that oil filter gasket's gonna go. You wanna make sure that gets a good seal. And you also wanna make sure the old gasket from the old oil filter did not stick up in there. You can see I'm just trying to push away some of this dirt. So just kind of get that clean. And then we can go ahead and take our new oil filter. And let's go ahead and screw that on up there. And then you want to go ahead and tighten this. You just want to do it hand tight. It's about like that. And then you can just wipe off any excess oil that's spilled from pulling that filter off there. And then you can see our oil's pretty much done draining there. So let's go ahead and stick our drain plug back up in there. And then go ahead and tighten that up. Get it nice and snug with your 14mm. And then go ahead and wipe up around the plug there. All right guys, so now we can go ahead and start filling here, and I just want to show you something that's kind of cool. So this truck has the original owner's manual from 1994, surprisingly. But if you take a look here, 204. Engine lubrication, there's the 22RE, which is going to be the 3VZ 3.0 V6 4-wheel drive, and it says right here with filter, it looks like they recommend 4.5 quarts. And if you take a look here, your viscosity, they're showing 10W30 from 0 all the way up to past 100 there Fahrenheit, and then anything below looks like 32, you could use 5W30 if you wanted to. So just going to stick with the 10W30, and you can see it also calls for that on the cap here. So I'll be using that supertech like I showed you earlier, and then I'm going to replace one of the quarts with this oil stabilizer. So I'm going to go ahead and add 3 quarts of the 10W30, and then we'll add this 4th quart. We'll start it, check it, and then we'll add the half quart if we need to. So you can see right about there, that leaves us with 2 quarts. So there's our 3 quarts we added since this is a 5-quart jug. Now we'll go ahead and add this oil stabilizer, pretty much Lucas. Add this full quart of this. And you can see this stuff's actually pretty thick. And then if you take a look here, they say to use 1 quart with 4 quarts, so pretty much 1 quart with every 5 quarts. But since this takes 4.5, I'm not too worried about it. And go ahead and pull your funnel here, and we'll go ahead and start it. Make sure it ain't leaking. So now we'll go ahead and start it. And if you saw my previous video on the radiator replacement of this, the cat was missing, but I did get a full exhaust on this now, so it's a lot quieter. So go ahead and start it. And then with it running, just crawl underneath here, check your oil filter, and then also your drain plug there. Make sure none of those are leaking, and that looks good. And then you can go ahead and shut it off. And I'm going to go ahead and let this sit for probably a good 3 minutes, 4 minutes or so, just to let that oil stabilizer drain back down in the pan, and then we'll check our level. Okay, so I'll let that sit for a while here. Let's go ahead and check our level now. So you got your dipstick here. Orange one's going to be your transmission, yellow one oil. You want to pull that out and then just give it a good wipe first. Stick it back down in there. Pull it out. And if you take a look, you can see we're right at the bottom of the crosshairs there. So we do need to add some because we want to be in these crosshairs. So let me go ahead and add that 1/2 quart, and then we'll let it sit and drain down to the bottom, and then we'll recheck and see if we need to add any more. Okay, so I went ahead and let that sit. So let's go ahead and recheck our level. Just gonna go ahead and wipe this off again, just to make sure we're clean. And then if you take a look here, not sure if you guys can see that because the oil is actually pretty clear on this truck, but we are right at the top of the crosshairs there, and that's where you want to be. So that was exactly pretty much 4.5 quarts, so the book was right on that. So we should be good on that level. So go ahead and replace your dipstick. Get your funnel out of here. Get your cap back on. And that's all there is to it. Okay guys, so like I said, just a super quick video on how to replace the oil and filter on a 1994 Toyota pickup 3.0 liter V6. Hopefully this video helps you out. If it does, why don't you subscribe to the channel, check out my other videos, and thanks for watching.